Hey, everyone. It is last day of the month, right? November 30th, right? There's 30 days in November. And it is it's noon, right? And we are closing out the month strong. This is our leadership call that we do every single Wednesday. And I want to talk a little bit about some stuff that's on my heart. We just really want to grow as leaders, right? And growing as leader is self-development. It's learning how to be a better version of you so you can be the best version of you to give a better version of yourself to others, right? And so I believe that there is a need, and you almost have to be a little bit selfish at times, like, hey, I've got to make sure I'm doing the right things for me so I can give out the best version of myself to you, right? And if people are not okay with that, if they're like, hey, you don't have time for that, then they're not caring enough about you, right? And if you don't care enough about yourself to take a little bit of time to step back and go, okay, I've got to pour into myself, I got to find ways to fill my cup, you're never going to be able to give very much to others. So that's why we do this. I think that's why it's so well liked. I have a lot of people that catch the replay and they love it, right? And so we're going to talk a little bit about priority and capacity. All right, priority and capacity. And we believe that priority determines capacity. Okay, priority determines capacity. I think you guys, there we're good. Okay, so I want to go down. I want to talk a little bit about each one, right? What is priority? Priority, and this is just straight definition, right? If you want to go to Webster's dictionary or whatever dictionary you want, just go to Google, type it in, right? The Google dictionary. Fact or condition of being regarded or treated as more important than something else. All right, more important than other things, right? Something that's more important than other things, the right to take precedence or right of way, right? That is priority. Capacity is the maximum amount that something can contain. Right? Capacity is the maximum amount of something, the amount of something, or let's do this, the maximum amount that something can produce. That's capacity, right? When I think capacity, I think of what it can hold, how much can I hold here? But it also goes for what's the capacity of, let's say, a plot of land to produce something, right? The amount that can be produced. So loves her. I just loves her, wants to be on her lap all the time. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. All right. So with those two terms, right, you have priority, making something important, and you have capacity, the maximum that you can hold. It's easy to go back and look at ourselves in the terms of capacity as the same as this cup, right? Callie's put the red on top of the white cup to do a festive Christmas theme. I love it, right? So if we look at this cup and we look at capacity, an inanimate object, all right, for capacity, no matter what, the maker of this cup has already designed how much it can hold, right? The maker of this cup. So I don't know what it is. 24 ounce. 20 ounce, but it holds 24 if you fill it all the way up, right? So the most that this cup can hold has a set limit. And it doesn't matter how much I force into it. Eventually, the cup's either going to overflow or it's going to explode, right? It's going to go and it's going to say, hey, I can only hold so much, right? The maker set its capacity. Here's the cool thing about human beings. Here's the cool thing about us. Our capacity to hold things is constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. You can change the amount of things that you can do by changing the priority on the object. Now, there is a downfall to this, right? If you want to look at, let's say you struggle with anger, right? You want to be angry. Your body can handle a lot of that. You can just keep forcing it down. But eventually you're going to explode. You're going to overflow and it's going to turn into something that's not good, right? So the maker, the creator, has put things in us for the bad stuff that we tend to get involved in, or the things that we hold in that's not good for us. We know anger is not good for us. We know stress is not good for us, all that. Little things that our body says, it's like a check engine light, right? It says, hey, this is not good. Your blood pressure is going up. You need to calm down, right? There's checks. But the good things, I believe that we have a maximum capacity, that we can just handle more and more and more. And so I want to talk about our priorities, setting our capacity for things. And I want to really focus on business here. Okay, so we're going to focus on business. All of us are part of anyone that watches this, you're part of network marketing. When you get involved, it's exciting. It's cool. It's like, oh, I've got something good. You're part of something new. The people that are, it's just exciting. But at some point in time, you get to a point where things didn't go the way you hoped. You just hit a wall. Things are just different. Like, I thought I was going to get rich and this was going to be easy and I was just going to share with a couple people and it was going to go crazy, right? And it didn't turn out that way. I guess there are those few that just hit a home run right off the get-go, but for the most of us included, it's work. And then that comes back to the point where I get lots and lots of these comments. Well, I've got a full-time job. I can't do this. I just don't have any time for this. I am so busy, right? Who's heard that? I just don't have time. I can't put time into this to make it what I hoped it was going to be. It's just not. Well, listen, we all the time determine what our capacity is for different things. I'm going to give an example of Kylie and I's life. We have 3 kids and all 3 kids started playing sports this past year for the first time in all seasons.
Yeah.
What that means is we've got one daughter that played over the course of the summer. So we're talking end of May through middle of August, right at the start of August. She played 140 games. I don't know, quite a few ball games. But a middle daughter that played, she played another 50 games.
Well, she played all 3 sports this summer.
Oh yeah, and plus the other sports. And then we had our son. I claim him when he's good. I give him to her when he's a pain in the butt. But our son played another 40, probably 40 or 50 games. A lot of people saw what we did in our life and they're like, I don't know how you did that. You guys were on the go. You were going here. I remember one day we drove 30 minutes to Monette, drove to watch a game, drove 45 minutes to Rain's game, drove back 45 minutes to watch how we went. I bet we put 300 or 400 miles on the car just going to ball games. Boom, 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 back and forth. And people are like, I don't know how you do it. Well, to us, it wasn't a problem. It was super simple. The reason why it was simple and easy is because it was a priority to us. I made it a priority that we were going to be at as many games as we could be at. We're going to let our kids this last summer, we're going to let them, you want to do it and it's a good thing. We're going to chase after it this summer. And so we did that. And because we made it a priority, it never felt like a hassle. We never missed. And it never felt like it was something that we just had to do. We set it as a priority and it becomes something that we had the ability. Other people like you, I would be wore out. I never got wore out. No. I was never frustrated. It was just something we handled really well.
Yeah.
Because it was important to us.
Yes.
Okay. Look at other people's lives. Guys, when you come into network marketing, this is not a full-time gig for 97, 98% of people. It is hey, I'm doing this and I'm going to add this to it. It's the power of part-time. Jim Rohn talks about it all the time, the power of part-time. And this building your fortune in the part-time can be done, but you need to make sure that it's a priority because your capacity to handle this and get this in and do the work and be a part of it will grow. It will spread out. It is not like this cup. It's only going to hold so much, right? But we have the ability to go, you know what, whatever, make a priority. I have people that say, hey, it's not a priority, but they never miss a ball game. And then they're huge college basketball fans. They watch 4 hours of college basketball every single night, never miss a game. They watch the NBA games. They don't miss it, but they say, hey, I don't have time to do this. No, it's just not a priority. Priority determines capacity. I can handle this if it's a priority. Listen, when we got when we got started into network marketing, how much time did I put into sports, watching sports?
Hours. It was
Okay.
always on.
It was always on,
Mhm.
right? How much, whenever it made the flip to us really getting serious about this, how much is sports and stuff on compared to then? It's still on, guys. I haven't given it all up, so don't think that's it. How much is it?
It's only on certain games or certain teams.
Right.
So it's only the team that you watch or cheer for, and then volleyball, because our girls love
Right. I've got
volleyball.
my girls involved. So our capacity, my capacity to fit this into me in my time, I'm talking me specifically, has been changed by me putting a priority on what we're doing. Right.
Yes.
You want to add anything to this? Because this snowballed off of a sermon that we got to set in from Robert Madu. And it just really hit home on, man, I always say I can't do this. I don't have time for this. I don't know if I can get this done. There's no way we can add this to our schedule. But if it's a priority, it's not a problem to fit it in.
Yeah, I think so. Can we just expound on how
You go.
we okay. So when he made that switch, our little boy was 8 now, so he was only 2, so he was at home. So for me, and somebody made a comment over the summer, like how like everybody sees you guys out doing things, but they don't see you working. And that's because I get up an hour to 2 hours before our entire family.
Right.
I get up, I get my, I put my quiet time in, I read the word, whatever that looks like for me in the morning. And then I do my work. I make my graphics, I have conversations, I write posts, I message people, I answer questions. Sorry if I answered anybody's question this morning at 4 a.m. That was my bad. But I do that because my priorities, one of our former people that used to be a part of our life said priorities are never in conflict. And it took me a little bit to figure out how that is, what that really looks like. But it's me getting up. If I want to be fully present in my husband and my kids' lives, then I have to take the time in the mornings or whatever time you have available, and I have to use that wisely, right? I have to prioritize my time because my time with him is more important than my business. My time with our kids is more important than our business. However, our business is very important. It's because that's what, provides for our family. So I make sure I set out my time during the day to make sure I'm efficient in everything that I do.
Right. And so how do you decide what's a priority? Well, I think it goes back to, what do you want? And that's one of the first questions I ask anyone that comes and does business with us that we enroll. One of the first things I ask is, what do you want? What do you want? And I don't even say, what do you want in the business? What do you want in life? What are your goals? Right? I think that's super important to know. You need to know it, and the people you're doing business with, you need to know. Hey, the people you do life with, I think it'd be really good to know what they want, because what they want will flow into their actions, right? And so it never leaves you surprised, or that's a lie. I think we surprise everybody at different times. Surprises will be very small, very few and far in between when you know what people want. And so I think you need to know what you want. So if you're like, man, this is just a lot, and I just don't know if I can do this business, I think you can. But we got to go back to what you want. So I would challenge you, if you're watching this and you're like, capacity, priority determines capacity. Let's go back a step. What do I want? Write down what you want. What do you want in life? When you look at it, can it be bought, or is it more than that, right? If you have stuff and all it is about, hey, I would love this, 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 and this, and you could purchase it. Eventually, once you're able to purchase all that, you're going to find yourself going, I don't have a passion to do anything, because you found what you want. And it was really just a wish list of things that you could buy, right? But find out what you want. Then once you know what you want, those that are working with you, we need to know what they want. Find out, hey, what do you want in life? Let's go. Now, what do you want in your business? Because we're making a decision right now. We're talking about capacity is tough to determine how much I can handle in life. But if we make it a priority, I can handle a lot more. Okay, what do I want in my business? I would say, do put a number on it.
Yeah.
I would like 500 extra bucks a month,
And break that down into customers or break it
or
down
break it into teams,
team.
right? I've got Kylie to jump over on my side on the numbers game. This is a numbers game. Like, I love numbers. I love looking at it and going, okay, what's the math to this, right? So if you say, hey, I would love to make $500 extra a month, and I would like to develop a little bit, just self-development. Okay, now we can go, all right, this is what you need. Numbers was 500, right? At every customer, you make $25, right?
25 to 30.
Right, 25 to 30. Okay, so that's 10, that's 250. I need 20 customers, and I've made $500 extra a month. Maybe you don't feel like you could find that many customers. Maybe you're like, oh, I'd also maybe off my team. Well, we need three distributors, right? You need to go find three. Yeah, you can get all of them.
I'm working on it.
Right there. So we need to know what we want, and we need to create a plan, right? Create that plan. That will allow you to decide how much of a priority you need to make your business. Okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, they do calls at noon, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. They do a weekly drop in the evenings. I'm in the Europe market. Okay, that's a long ways over there, but we do our power hours. We have this, this, and this. Okay, for me to get this, I need to be a part of this much.
Yeah.
Decide what you're willing to carve out some time and focus on there. I'm not saying you need to go full time. I have no desire for someone to go, okay, I've got a full-time job that pays all my bills. Well, for me to make $10,000 to $20,000 a month in network marketing, I've got to quit that and go here. Because that's not the power of part-time. That's not what the industry was designed for. This is a thing that leaders come in and they want you to just be all in. Guys, I can be all in, make it a priority, and still work my job, right? Power of part-time. Hey, I'm going to do my job. I know how many hours. We talked about Kylie. She's like, I get up a little bit earlier. Maybe you need to get up a little earlier.
Well, get up early, use your lunch break instead of going to sit down and talk with your coworkers or whatever.
Right.
Use that time. Go to the bathroom. You need to go to the bathroom. Unless it's against work policy, take that phone to the bathroom, answer messages, send your link out, add people to the groups, whatever you need to do.
Right.
If you're a car line mom, I sit in the car line for 30 minutes because if I don't, I'm going to be late to other schools. So I have to get there 30 minutes early. I use that time to create content or make posts or answer questions.
Right. Right. I was a teacher and coach. I would get there at 7:30.
7:15.
Depends. In season, maybe 7, but 7:30. And then most days, if we just had practice, I'd come home at 6.
Ish, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit after 6. So that was my day, almost all the time. Inside that day, when we started network marketing, I was like, I don't have time to do this. I'm busy. I'm this, and this. Well, we had that mentor talk about what do you want? And so we started looking at what we wanted, and we have some big goals that we had. Okay, now am I willing to sacrifice some of the things that I did? Because listen, I started looking at my day. I had multiple windows of time where I just went and chilled with the other coaches. We talked and did things. Was that a good thing? Yeah, it was a good thing. It wasn't bad. We're just building work morale. We're together. But you know what? That time did not help me get to my end goal, right? It didn't get me there. So I had to go back and make some sacrifices and decide I'm going to make this a priority. Once you make it a priority, all of a sudden, you can handle as much as you want. If it's a priority, are your goals and dreams a priority, or are they just a wish list? I think that's also really important to understand. I have this dream. I'd love to own our own home on some land, have some cattle. You know, that's one of our dreams, right? That's there. But I also love to impact as many lives as I possibly can and help them chase after their dreams, their goals, right? Okay, if that's a true dream in my heart and not a wish, there's got to be steps to get there, and I've got to be willing to sacrifice for those. Here's something that I say my kids a lot. Unordinary goals require unordinary effort. Unordinary goals that are different from everyone else, right? Hey, I want to build something special in this industry and I want to do whatever it is. That's not normal. Most people think we're silly for being a part of network marketing, right? The average person that's had a bad experience, they're like, you're a moron. Well, you've had a bad experience. You had a poor leader. You want a part of a group like we have, whatever. Unordinary goals require unordinary actions. So I'm going to have to do things different than the rest of the people around me to get to where I want to go. Because if I do the same thing as them, then I'm going down the same road and going to get to where they go.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing is, and we've said this a lot because we're talking about some dreams that we have. Hey, we've got to stop giving up what we want most for what we want now. We've got to stop giving up our whole ultimate desires to go here, but we're in the moment, so I'm going to choose this. It doesn't help me towards my end goal. I give up what I want most for what I want now all the time. But when your priorities are set and it determines where you're going, you start making sacrifices. You know what? I can handle a little bit more. I can do an extra call. I can do an extra 3-way. I can take time to invite people to Disruptive Wellness. I can take time to send out birthday wishes. It doesn't become something like, oh, I just don't have time to do it. It becomes something that you're like, nope.
I can't go a day without it,
Right.
doing it. I
Right.
can't afford not to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we've got this unordinary goal takes extraordinary action or unordinary action. We've got a daughter that wants to play college ball. She gets in the batting cage on just random days, right? It's the work that outside of what you're actually doing. So
Right.
outside of these Zooms, what are you doing? Right? These are great. I love that you guys show up for these.
Yeah.
Because they're crucial. Ryan talks about staying close to the fire, and that's crucial. But what are you doing once you hit the leave Zoom? What are you doing? Are you taking action? Are you doing the things? Maybe you can't get up early, but you can stay up an extra hour late or whatever it is. What are you doing outside of the gym or off of the field that is different than other people?
Right.
Right? Like, if you're not putting in the extra things, you're not going to get the extra
Right.
blessing.
Yeah. And so I don't want to hear, I guess I'll listen, but we don't want to hear that I just don't have the capacity for this. I just don't have the time.
Mm.
That's not a good answer because no, it's just not a priority.
Mm.
Right. And that's when Natalie, I use Natalie a lot. She just called me out on things, and just said, hey, because I said that I just don't have time to build this into something that I really want. Well, I guess you didn't really want it then. No, I do. I just don't have time. You don't understand. I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this. Yeah, so does so-and-so. Can I tell you a story about them? This is what they do. Blah, 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 blah. Sounds a lot like you. Yeah. Well, they also built a business that was, they just went, no, they'd never done network marketing before. Every excuse I gave, she was like, it was all about priority. Was it a priority to them? And they kept making it a priority. Here's the thing. You can't make it a priority today and not tomorrow. If it's a priority today, it has to be a priority tomorrow. And if it's a priority tomorrow, it has to be a priority the day after that. That's what's going to get you to your end dreams. That's how it's going to change lives for the better, right? A priority today means it's priority tomorrow. You make a commitment in the moment today, we're going to see how big of a commitment it is if you're still when you're not in the moment, right? You get outside the moment and you're back into the real world, right? That commitment, that priority today has to be a priority tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day. Here's how I handle that because that overwhelms me at times. I can only live one day at a time. So it's going to be a priority today. And then when I lay my head down and I go to sleep and I wake up in the morning, I'm going to choose to make it a priority then, but I can't worry about tomorrow and those other days, right? See ya. So that's where we're at. That's this idea of priority determines capacity, right? And I want to take some minute just to talk. Is this something that hit home? Like I just want to make sure we're going down the right road. I know it's hit home for me. Maybe this was just for me, right? but my priorities had to change because it determines how much I could handle. Thoughts? Pretty quiet. Yep. I want you to know, I just really want you guys to know you're not alone. There's no leader inside the network marketing industry that didn't grind. Like there's a couple people that hit it big and maybe they're an influencer or whatever and it went well for them, right? But I didn't say they're a leader. Just because you're an influencer doesn't mean you lead people, right? Just because that's who you are. There's no leader inside network marketing that didn't grind. It's tough. There are days that I wake up and go, oh my gosh, if I had hair, I'd pull it out. If I just had something to grab onto, I'm grabbing chin hair, right? But it is a commitment of making this a priority. And even if it's part-time, hey, I'm gonna make it right now. This is my dream. This is my goal. I'm gonna make 15 minutes of this a day. I'm gonna make it a priority that 15 minutes I'm going, right? Or hey, I could carve out 30 minutes. Look at your day and go, where do I waste time? Because my grandpa said, Grandpa Wesley, hey, one thing you'll never get back is time. Don't waste it, right? So where can I go and carve out some things? And I'm gonna be honest, I have never regretted giving up watching all those games. I've never regretted giving up watching all that Sports Center. I've never said, man, I wish I hadn't given all that up. Man, I've made some choices that have benefited my family and benefited others, that if I just stayed where I was and not made this a priority, we wouldn't even be close to where we are.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have got to help and meet the people that we've got to help and meet.
Yeah.
So I hope this helps. I haven't looked at the comments. Once again, you guys know I can't read very well when it comes. Well, I can read. I can't see very well, right? Those are good.
Yeah.
Good.
I like it.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You don't have to give the whole entire day.
Not at all.
Please don't think that, just because this is mine and Ryan's full-time job, that we work full-time hours, because I'm still a mom, right? I'm still a volunteer at the school. I'm still all of these things that I have to do. So I have to make sure that I prioritize my time, because time is precious.
Right. And we get really good at being efficient in how we do it, right? To just maximize it. So, but when it's priority, it doesn't feel like a hassle. So I think that's about all I had. I'm going to stop the recording, but I'm not going to shut down the Zoom. So let me stop this. See you guys.